Hey kids, Mark Miller here. Welcome everyone. Glad you're with us. Roy will be joining us in about an hour, I think. And in the meantime, we'll get started. And we're working on the CardMaker application. Which let me give you a start, give it a run, and I'll show you where we are with that. It is right here. It allows us to create playing cards for a Dungeons and Dragon game where viewers watching it will be able to play some cards during the game and make things happen. That's kind of what's going on here. I've got some samples here of the different kinds of cards that can be generated. There are different parameters on the generation. There are these layers that you see here. We can change visibility on those particular layers. We can choose different items to go in there. And ultimately what I want is to be able to generate hundreds of these cards, close to 1,000, and most of those generated automatically. Where then all that's required is maybe just a few tweaks on it just to touch up the designs. So that's what the goal here is, basically to replace what would otherwise be maybe months of artistic effort. That's what I'm looking at. One of the things that's new here is I've got the ability to change the font size here. And so I've got a little scale here for that. There's ability to come in here and do a color swatch. So I can grab a particular color and then choose it. And once I've chosen it, I can then modify the color of that font. So I've got good contrast there. That's all new there. So that's kind of where we are. I'm about at the point where I want to be able to come in here and say, add cards, and to automatically add a whole bunch of cards. Maybe a button down here, and then that'll add a whole bunch of cards for a particular group of spells that qualify. Let me show you what the data in the background is looking like on this. So this is the Google Sheets document where we've got the data that we're storing. The application reads and writes to the Google Sheets. Let me just close it. Just going to contract the size of those two because those are just a bunch of GUIDs. We store all the cards here. The decks are stored here. This similarly has a GUID ID column off to the side that I've kind of collapsed there. These are all the fields that are declared for the cards. We don't have really a lot of fields, but fields are pieces that are prompts for information from the viewer that's playing the card. And the layer text options, this tells us where to put the text, also what the angle of the text would be for a particular style. This is the style of the card. So I've got these different styles that are out here. We've got a default text color to start with, vertical alignment, and what layer index the text will be placed at. Then over here, I've got this yet to be filled out slide called Random Gen Rules right there. And it's got the layout name. It's got a column for that. It's got the layer name, the sub-layer name. So layout name is going to look like something like this. It's going to match that kind of a style. And then within there, it's going to be a particular layer that's selected, and then a sub-layer if that layer has a sub-layer, as the example here, where these are two different sub-layers. So this would be, this layer name would be corner, and the sub-layer would be hand or maybe worm. So these three are going to identify what layer we're on. Together, they'll all be used together as essentially an index for the random generated rules. For each layer, we'll be able to decide what its chances of visibility will be. So if it's blank, we'll default to 100%. Then for each of the adjustable properties for that layer, for example, hue, we're going to have a max and a min value. Same thing for saturation, light, contrast, the X position, the Y position, the horizontal stretch, the vertical stretch. And then I also have options to whether we want to synchronize X and Y or synchronize the stretch. So synchronize position, synchronize stretch. I might rename these right now. Sync position, and this one's going to be sync stretch. All right, so that's my spreadsheet. No data here yet. Today we're going to build controls that are going to fill out this data. And I think the first thing I want to do is come in here and copy all of these. Let's go into here. Let's stop the application. We'll close it down. And I guess I'll jump over here to card. We're going to create a new class. And this is going to be called layer generation options. Like that. I wonder if I can intelligently, if I can do this really quickly here, if I come in here and say, find a tab. Should be a tab between these. Oh, there's not. They're just spaces. All right. So instead of that, find one or more spaces and replace one or more spaces. I'm still not getting an indication that it's finding it. I want to change this to selection. I can't see if it's found these or not. I would expect it to find that. One or more spaces, and we're going to replace it with the getter and the setter, I think, is what I want to do. Get, set, followed by carriage return. And I'm just now thinking most of these are doubles. Public, double, and I think a space. Let's see if we get any traction with that at all. Nope, that didn't work at all. Did I not have the selection right? Let's try one more time. Oh, we got to get the wait, what's happening here? There we go. Okay, so let's see if this works. That wasn't too bad. I want to change this to a string. Both of those to strings. Chances everything else is double, 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 and then we're going to make these two booleans right here. Okay. The other thing, oops, I forgot to do this, is I wanted a column, and I also want indexer here, because we have column names that correspond to the property names, and these three are indexers right here. And the rest of these are all columns. Like that. So let's just mark all of those for column, like that. All right. Well, I should have had an extra carriage return in there just to separate those all. Okay, next we need to say where, what sheet it's coming from. I'm pretty sure Card has that right here. So we're gonna come in here. The sheet name is equal to deck data, and it's gonna be called random gen rules. That's the name of this. Let's just do this, copy that to clipboard so there's no chances of getting that wrong. That's the tab we're on. Okay, that feels good. Let's go take that, put that in its own file. Now for each layer, I need one of these. I need a class that manages all of these. Something like that, I'm imagining. All right, card generation options. We need a method in here called load. We want this to be public, and we're going to say maybe we're not going to initialize this here. Call load right from here. Then down here, we're going to say layer options is equal to that. That's going to get that data for us from that sheet. Okay, we also need a method that returns a layer generation options for a particular layer. So, something like this, get, and I think I want to pass in a card image layer is what I think I want to pass in, because I got a fair amount of these that I'm working with out there. I think, and this may be a little premature to write this code now, because I'm not exactly, until I know what I need for sure, this may be a little extra. But the card image layer has the name. Let's do this. Let's do throw new exception. Finish this. Just going to do that for now. Okay. All right, so that's enough of the first of kind of the getting the code in the back to work, getting that where we want it to be. Let's now go to the UI. So for the UI, what I want to do is I want to have right-click menu options. There's kind of two versions of this that I want. There's kind of a basic version, and then there's a better version. The basic version is going to allow me to right-click on any of these controls, these four, or these four, 1, 2, 3, 4, these slider controls. Drag it to a setting, right-click it and say set min or set max. And then that will set the range. That's version 1. But there's no visual feedback there. The version 2 has visual feedback where I actually can show what its min and max values are. And I think that's best done with a custom control. But I want to just mark those with like a red line or something slashing across it. I didn't want to spend a lot of time on that. I feel like it's a lot of time for a small gain that you know, if I was shipping the application out to somebody, I would say, yeah, let's do that. But because I'm not, I'm kind of weighing whether I go down that path or not heavily, and I don't think I'm going to do it. But that's version 2 of the UI. The version 2 gives you visual feedback, so you can just click on a card and see what the constraints are for what we would call a good card. The reason for this is that sometimes you don't want to have complete random saturation or complete random hue shift. Sometimes it just won't look good. And so what I want to do is set the minimum max for those. And that's why we're not going the full range. So to do that, I need a context menu here. And if I'm recalling correctly, it goes like that. Followed by, I think, that. Let's bring this up a little bit. Followed by menu item. Header is equal to set min. And I'm kind of thinking, yeah, I think we can do this with one handler for all of these. Here's a cool coders feature, by the way. You can't rename these, at least you can't do it from XAML, but you can hit tap index reference and come in here and rename this. So set min for card generation. Menu item click. Maybe something like that. All right. Next, we'll duplicate this. We're going to call this set max. And then we're going to say set max. And we're going to do the same thing here. Duplicate that. Set max. Like that. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go up. When I get this, I'm going to find the menu item, go up the parent chain, find out what I'm on, and based on what I'm on, I'm going to decide what we're going to modify. That's my plan. So that means I can then take this context menu here. I wonder if I can create a template for this, a style template for this. I think I can. Let's look that up so I don't copy this all over the place. WPF, C#, control, template, including context menu. Let's see if we can find something like that. I'm not actually trying to style the context menu. Control template. So every control gets the same. Not quite what I want. I don't want to style a context menu. All right, let's do something different. Let's see, let's just go into control styles. Yeah, I think I'm going to try this approach right here. So let's try that. I think there's I want a key on it as well. And then how do I access that style? It's not showing it. All right, we'll figure that out. So let's, let me drop a marker here. Let's come up to the top here and say style. Target type is equal to slider. Key is equal to card gen options, and then we're going to say zoom, zoom, zoom. I'm coming in for you. Zoom, zoom, zoom. I'm running for you. Rah! Nice. I think is it setter? Property is equal to context menu. And then setter.value. And here's where I want to put in that context menu we put down here. This and that, like that. That's what I think I want. Now the only question is, how do I get this style up here? I think it might be, I bet you there's a, hopefully there's a style property. We can come pop in here. Style. Is that it? Card gen options, that didn't work. What do I got to do? Converting from a string. So there's something here, static resource. Is that what it is? That maybe worked. So slider hue, let's run it and see if I got a right click menu and slider hue. See if that all worked. Oh, that's my error. Segment click is not valid. Click is not an event. Line position 33. What is going on? feel like it's something wrong with this, is what I believe. If I cut that out and rebuild, does it work? Having trouble building? Oh, I know why. Because there's a something up and running here. That could not copy because we've got this app up and running, which I just closed down. Let's try another build. Build all. That looks like that maybe worked. Okay, rebuild all succeeded. The resource card gen options could not be resolved. Oh, right, that makes sense because of this. Okay, let's go back and now add that piece back in here. What is wrong with it? I'm worried about it, that it might be in this piece right here, that I used setter and I should have used something different. Let's try another build. Yep. So we got the problem there. So what we just pasted in. Everything looks good and this looks closed. Yeah, the XAML looks like well formed. So I don't think that's the problem. Let's go look at the what we've got over here, see what we've got. Do I give setter.value? I do. Setter property, context menu. My target type looks like it needs to be more like this, in this form. Let's see if that changes. Let's see if that improves the situation. Set menu item click is not valid. Click is not an event on the Boolean to visibility converter. Line 34. Yeah, it's somehow thinking this and this applies now to this guy. That doesn't make any sense to me. What if I move it down to the end of my styles, the end of my resources, I mean. Let's see what happens now. Build succeeded. Positional issues. Okay, I'm a little bit worried that this is maybe not going to work. The fact that that wasn't causing an error up above and not causing an error down here is a concern. Let's run it. Unable to cast control menu item to type control stack panel. Well, we've got a problem with it. So can we just can't set the context menu? I'm wondering. Fred's back. Okay, I guess I copy it. So try one more time. Ooh, there we go. There it is. Okay. I guess I can do that. Let's do that. Okay, so we'll do that. Create a separate menu, separate resource for it. CTX random card gen, like that. Oh no, that's not good. That was a close one. Look at that deep water, it worked. Cool pet shark. That's my pet shark, Sharky. That's baby Sharky. X key. It's going to be CX card gen slider. Woohoo, says Caleb Wells Code. I think I'm gonna need to probably switch the order of these. That fixed that. Slider X key. So now all we need to do is go find our sliders. Let's go find them. Slider font hue. No, that's font hue. I don't need that one. Slider offset X. Okay, there's one. Style is equal to that. No, it's static resource. That. Okay, that's what we're adding to each of our sliders. There's offset Y. There's horizontal stretch. And there's vertical stretch. I should actually test this. Let's run it. Make sure we're actually seeing these context menus before I continue making all these changes. Number 539 in position 14. What is going on here? Can I find resource named CardGen options? Did I leave that in? I think I left that in from the attempts we were making before. Let's go back to where we were a second. That's the one. Well, since we're here, I'll go ahead and make the changes we need to make. There's that one. So that's hue. There's saturation. Comes lightness and contrast. Okay, so we've made all of those. I think we need to restart. How's everybody doing today? Hope your day's going good. Going well. Okay, so now I'm hoping for a right-click menu item here. I do not have one. Oh wait, I got one here. No, that's okay because these didn't have one, but I do have it here. Set min, set max. Sweet. Got it for each one. All right, cool. Let's set a breakpoint and figure out how we're going to set each one of those. All right, so we've got a sender, which is the menu item. Something like that. Flake Creation says, I'm doing okay. You? I think I'm okay. All right. I'm thinking about adding a template. I'm going to do it. So I'm noticing this pattern. I'm writing this a lot, and it's a lot to write this. I've got a shift key for the exclamation mark. I've got shift keys for these parens right here. I've got to come up with this. I've got to rewrite this, which is the same as that, right? Except for it's lowercase, right? So this is like happening all the time. So let's go in and coders should be able to help us simplify this. Let's go put it in my private stuff for now, in my custom, and I'll move it out of there here. So we're going to call this if not, if type is or is not. Something like this. And let's create a new template. I'm going to call it FN. And did I copy that to the clipboard? I did not. So here I want to paste what's on the clipboard, and over here I want to bring in a string provider, which gives me like a local format, local name. Let's use that one. I want to format the local name, and what I want to pass into that is another string provider, which is going to be pasting what's on the clipboard. Okay. Then I want to say return. Like this. I want to turn this into a field. Oops. It's going to be called variable, and I want to put the caret here, block anchor there. All right, so if the variable is, we'll type that part in. This part's going to be pasted. We'll give it a context of being inside a code block, and there's an identifier on the clipboard. That's what we'll do. In code block, and We can grab anything on a clipboard. I don't understand that as a context. Oh, there it is. I see. I see. Clipboard dot has identifier. All right. Cool. So we've got that now. So now if I have menu item, if I copy that to the clipboard and I come in and I type in FN, I get this. And so now I can type in sender, and then I get this whole piece built for me there with that single FN. Looks like I'm missing a closing paren. Let's go fix that. Create a variation of this. Instead of calling paste here, it's going to call get on the type that was specified in the mnemonic of the name of this template. So I'll be able to type in FNS and it'll put a string right here. And this will say format local name of, again, get type. So I can nest string providers together like this. Okay, so with that, I should be able to, for example, say FNS. Nope. FNI, not working at all. Why is that? Oh. Take that off right there. So only in code block. Doesn't need to have an identifier on the clipboard. Let's see if that works now. FNS. All right, cool. Nice. So FN, and then whatever the type is that I have, including shortcuts for my own types, will work. So that means if not, then we get out. I feel like there should be also an FI for if is. That does the opposite of these. Pretty easy to create. Let's start with both of those. Let's create a duplicate. This is going to be FI. And FI is just going to remove this not, and it doesn't need those extra parens. Okay? And it doesn't need this. It needs instead some braces and marker right in there. And that final target. Okay, so that's that one, and then do the same here. Create a duplicate here. FI type. And the same changes down here for FI type. Let's copy those. FI type comes in here. And 1, 2, there. Sweet. Those are great. So now I can come in, I should be able to type in FIS like that, if variable is string, and I think I need a field here on the name. I need that. Let's go fix that as well. So right here, because I'm kind of building this up, I need to insert a field begin, field start, and a field end at the end of this. Right there. So that'll now become a field there. So we've got one field for the variable name, a second one for this. This is the variable name to test. I just want to do that. Or maybe test bar. I think I can put a comma right here and say identifier to test like this. I don't think I need to put it in quotes. And that will put up a little tooltip underneath it. There you go. Better. Okay, so let's do that. So we'll copy that. Cool. Then the last thing we want to do is we want to come in here, grab our field start, and get to the end of this and put in a field end. Do the same thing here. I'm actually really looking forward to using these, because I'm finding myself doing this like a lot and just every time kind of struggling at the magnitude of all the code I have to write to make that work. All right, that already has there, it's already there. And it distracts from the creative process for me, right? If I'm thinking about, okay, wait, how am I gonna do this? And now I'm vastly gonna prefer this more effortless approach. All right, so we have FI a type mnemonic, FN, and FN in a type mnemonic. So let's try those out here. We'll come in and say, so FI, like that. FI, let's get rid of this. FI needs a identifier in the clipboard. So I need menu item on the clipboard. Menu item, so do this, FI, there we go. All right, so test bar, so I would type in sender, like that, hit enter, come down there, hit enter, and now I'm ready to go. Good, that's if I want to do an inclusive block with it. If I want to get out of the method, I type in FN, like that, and then the same thing, test bar, menu item. I just have to, both of those work with what's on the clipboard. And in fairness, to be consistent with the other templates and the mnemonic kind of language we've built, we need this to be FN that. That means we'll use what's on the clipboard. Rename this to FI. Okay, better. Where do I want to put these? I'm feeling like we're in a definitely at a point where we should consider shipping these. I think I'm throwing it in expressions. Is that true or fair? Yeah. Even though it's a full-on, it could either be that or flow. Where's flow control? Yeah, I got some if blocks in here. I think I'm putting it down there. That's what I'm gonna do. So let's take this. Can't drag this down. All right. Let's report it. For dog food and code rush, and we just found an issue, so we're going to report it. I was also going to report, there's two things I want to report here, Debs. One is I've got this and I want to move it. But look what happens when I get to the bottom. It's not scrolling up. It's not scrolling here in either direction, so I can't quite drag this into the folder I want to drag it into. I guess that's issue number one. Minor issue number two, so if I come all the way back and let go of it right over itself, oh, I guess I just let go of it just above or below itself. Is that what happens? Are you sure you want to move the selected item? Well, that's not going to move it anywhere. I just moved it right in there. So I want to drag it here. Thankfully, I can see both on screen at once if I maximize this. But I should be able to drag it anyway without that. So anyway, I'm going to move this into here. The second part of this that I want to talk to you about is I have a new set of templates here in this folder that's if type is or is not. And I've declared two new templates, fi followed by a type mnemonic and fi followed by the slash, and basically fi followed by the thing you want to expand, and then fn as well. And I'll show you how those work. If I have something on the clipboard, like menu item, I can type in fi, which means if is. Now, why didn't that work? We saw that before. Let's see what fn does. Fn is not working either. What, moving them? They were just working. If you go back, what happened? I moved them into if blocks. They are enabled. I'm not sure why they're not working anymore. I don't get that at all. Let's move this up here. See if moving them up changes anything. Okay. Fn. Fi. Oh, I know why. Hold on. It was my mistake. That wasn't a code rush problem. That was a me problem. I forgot that I need to do the slash. I just made that change. So let's go back and move these back into if blocks. So now that's where they are. I'll give you an export of these. And so let's do it here. So fi with the forward slash will work use what's on the clipboard. Although that's really bizarre. It should have used menu item, but it used main. fi forward slash. What's going on? fn forward slash. Why is it using that instead of what's on the clipboard? It should have used what's on the clipboard. That's on the clipboard. Okay. Well, let's do this. I'll show you the other ones as well. So it looks like there's a couple issues to look at here. If we look at FIS for string, if it's string, we can create something like this. And it expands that way. If I type in FNS, if it's not a string, it looks like that. That's what it looks like. All right, I'll give you an export of those. I'm not sure what's going on with that menu piece that's happening there. Basically, if I'm typing in fi and the slash here and here, and it says it's just pasting in. It's as if main somehow gets on the clipboard, but it's not. That's on the clipboard. So I don't understand what's happening when menu items changing to main. Let's try one more time. FNS or FN/. That time it worked. Oh man. FI/. That time it worked. What was going on before? All right, take a look at that. Let me give you a, let's just close up this issue. It's a feature request and an issue, I guess. We'll say issue. CodeRush templates, several issues, export, template export required. The mark required. Let's take a look at that. Okay, let me put that in the chat room. We're dog food and CodeRush every day. Every day we're streaming at least. And if we see issues, we are reporting them. So that's what's going on there. All right, back over here. Do I have menu item on the clipboard? I don't anymore. Can I get it? Look at this. Got another issue. Hold on. Working on the clipboard history. We're just having some clipboard problems before. I just copied this to clipboard. Hit copy there, come down here and pasting it. I'm now hitting Control-Shift-V to bring up the clipboard history. It's not in there. So we've somehow broken the clipboard history. Somehow it's just not tracking anymore. And I'm not sure why. So that's the issue. Take a look at that. Hopefully there'll be something in the log. That'll be a clue. Let's put that into the chat room. Okay. So anyway, back to menu item. All right, so I want to say if it's not a menu item, then and we'll make this be center. Then we're going to get out like that. After that, we want to go to
hello.
How you doing?
Not too bad, my friend. How are you?
Pretty good. I was just writing some CodeRush templates, reporting some CodeRush issues.
Excellent.
That's it. How's your day been today so far?
Not bad. Not bad. This is the build up to Christmas, isn't it? It's certainly on this side of the pond, maybe a slightly bigger affair. Just a good excuse to sit around and do very little. But it's coming. Not just yet. We're getting there.
All right. Well, cool. Yeah, we're getting there. That's what we're going to do. All right. I just created a cool template. It's not bad. Did you see it at all? Were you watching before you jumped in?
I sadly was not. No. What do we got?
By the way, I would have also accepted I sadly was. Yes. That also would have been contextually appropriate and fitting. Here's what it is. I've got menu item on the clipboard right here.
Yep.
I now want to do a check to see if some variable is of this type menu item. If it is, I want to assign a new variable to it. Or if it's not, I want to get out of the function. So I can type in FN and a / for the clipboard, and I get this, and then I can type in sender here, and I get to here. So
nice.
This code
so
that normally...
you're doing the casting on the way in, but if it doesn't apply, you're getting out straight away.
Right,
that's
exactly.
That's a pretty common pattern, isn't it?
Yeah, so F means if, N means not. So that's kind of what the mnemonic I'm using for this. Mm-hmm. The opposite of this, I can say if is, so F is, if is, and then what's on the clipboard, right? Again, typing in sender like that. And then now I get a block, and I'm in here. The point is, I get all of this code, which is just, from my perspective, a lot to write. Yeah. Right? It's a lot, and it's always the same. This is always that, right? That sort of thing. So,
Well, that's what we do, isn't it? We look for patterns in the work that we do. We try to find ways of just, I mean, because presumably if it is a pattern, it's a good thing, ideally, right? That you want to reproduce. But you want to reproduce it without all the effort. And a template is a great way to do that.
yeah. So that's what I've done. All right, so we're going to type in FN, what's on the clipboard, type in sender here, and then we're here. Now we've got menu item, okay? So now I want to go to menu item dot, what is it, parent? I don't know what that is. Let's first get down to here and let's see what the parent is. What's parent? It is a context menu. So I'm going to, whoops. I'm going to try and get context menu on the clipboard now, and then I'm going to use my template, FN, like that. And then we're going to put in menu item there. And if it's not a context menu, wait, what's my problem here? That's not good. It thinks it's a variable. It's highlighting it as a type. The syntax highlighting it as a type. I have something here called no. What?
Wow.
Why is that like this? Let's try set next statement. See what Visual Studio does. An expression of type menu item cannot be handled. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a duh. That was my fault. There we go.
Right.
Now what's happening now? Why is it still like
Still
this?
got a value.
No, it worked that time. It just took a while. Okay. All right, cool. If that parent is a context menu, then we get out. And now we're at context menu. Now, how do we find the owner of the context menu? Do we have some property called owner? Let's take this and add a watch to this thing. Maybe throw a quick watch up here.
What's the goal of what you're doing here, Mark? How high up are you going to go?
I just want to find the control, the WPF control that owns this, that owns the context menu. But this
So the thing being right-clicked in the case of a context menu.
Exactly, that's what I'm looking for.
Okay, is that not in the event handler for the menu item being clicked?
The routed event arcs?
Yeah.
I don't know, let's try it.
Or is it indeed the sender? Oh, well, no, I suppose not. You do need the parent, that's true.
I don't think so.
I guess there's any number of ways this could work, yeah.
If I see a slider in here, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's it. That worked, but I don't see a slider inside of here.
Alternatively, is it possible to set up the menu in the first place when you're in the WPF and sort of assigning the elements and what have you, to specify a sort of a relative object that gets passed?
No, I don't think so. And the reason why is because I've set up the context menu as a style. So I know I've added that style to all the sliders.
Sure.
So I need to find it
So it's
another
being
way.
generically applied in all the different situations.
I know there's a way to do
Okay.
it. I thought we could find it with IntelliSense faster, but I think we're going to have to come in and search. We're going to say, oh, here, let me do this. Vote up that, because this was a key answer earlier. Okay, so C#, a WPF, find control that owns the context menu.
Well, that's the right question.
It's the
Placement
parent.
target.
It's hold on.
That last one.
Wait.
So the
pop-up
menu is part
the
of a context.
parent.
The context is part of a pop-up, and the pop-up has a placement target,
All right, let's look at that.
which is the thing in question, maybe.
So let's see. Do we have context menu dot parent? And is it of type pop-up? It is. Sweet. So next we need pop-up.
So the way I'm visualizing this is that the pop-up is kind of the abstract control containing the items that are now over other things. It may have no actual visual representation as such, but it's like a nice container by the sound of it. Wow.
Oh, context menu dot parent. My bad. Okay. Okay. If context menu dot parent is not a pop-up, then we're out. Hey, thanks, template, CodeRush template, for writing these 3 lines of code for me. Okay, so now we've got the pop-up, and what was it? What was it? Placement target.
Placement target, yeah.
All right. Placement. Is it placement target? Placement target. And I want to check to see if this is a slider is what I want to do. So I want slider on the clipboard, and then FN that. And then we're going to say pop-up.placement target slider, then return. All right. And so now at this point, we've got the slider from the menu item. Yep. I think. Let's go back up to the top. We'll step through all this code. And now we got a slider. Nice.
Cool.
Okay. So now I think what I want to do, let's do this. Let's do just a quick, if slider's null, then get out. But then I want to take all of this and extract this. Oh, come on. I don't like you. I'm not happy with that response, not having an extract method in there. All right, fine. We'll build it ourselves. So we're going to say method returns a slider, get slider from menu item.
Yep.
Like this. We're going to have menu item right here. Call it menu item. Like that. And hold on. Let me report this as an issue. Kids, I was just... whoops. That's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to do that. Hit totally the wrong key. And can I not duplicate it anymore? Let's see if I can duplicate it. You'll have to roll back if I can't. Hold on, let's mark the issue. All right, kids, roll back about 20 seconds to see this. Here's what I did. I had slider on the clipboard. Let me bring up this so you can see what keys I'm pressing. I typed in M / right there so that I could get a method that returns a slider. I typed in get slider from menu item, and I'll say 2, like that. Then I came back here, copied menu item, and came in here and typed in V/ like that to paste that in. Typed in menu item, up arrow to select this, hit enter, and now I hit enter. And one more time, and I get that. I'm not expecting that. I'm expecting, of course, to get down inside here, right here. What's going on with that weird thing? And I hit one more time, I get down here. But what's up with it actually adding an enter key? Look into that, figure out what's going on with that, please. That's the issue. Good thing, it looks like we got a good set of steps to reproduce that. So we're going to say M template leads to carriage return inserted. Say unexpected carriage return.
It's almost like an extra field was entered there, but one that was capable of having a carriage return within it.
Yeah, maybe. I'm like, there is an extra field that happens in there because we want you to be able to come in and create another. Like if I come in here and I type in, do I have menu item on the clipboard still? Nope, I definitely don't. Let me get menu item clipboard. I'll show you one more time what that's for. So if I come in here and I say M like this, get, whatever, enter. I type in V/ like that. Type in this. Like this, hit enter. Now I'm at a place where if I hit enter, I should go right down to the middle.
Yeah.
That's what I should. The reason this extra one's here is in case I want to come in here and type in like VS to get a second parameter, right?
Okay.
Like that. Enter, and then enter. There it is again, and then enter. It's. I don't know if it's inserting it or it's just behaving incorrectly. It's as if it's adding one carriage return and then saying, okay, let's get out.
But you're actually in a new field right from the moment your carrot's on the right of that menu item. The field seems to have been created because as you type that comma V, V/, you're typing it into a field.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes. No, it is. It's an extra field that's there, but it's not an extra one. There's an extra field there so that we can decide whether we want to keep going and adding more parameters, or hit enter and get inside. But there's something about that's adding an extra line there. So take a look at that depths. All right, so now I've got to just copy all of this. And we're going to say return slider. And all of these have got to turn into return null, like that. Oh, this should not be actually... this should be object right here. And this should just be get slider from object. Is that true? I'll keep it from menu item like that. That's what I'm
You're
going to do.
hoping it'll be a menu item when you're passing it in, because
Yeah.
that's the first test you do.
I'm gonna call it sender. Get slider from sender. That's what I'm gonna call it. So here we're gonna say get slider from sender is there. Oops, not what I wanted. Passing sender like that. Now I want to declare a local for that. Call it slider. And good. Now we have this. Now what I want to do is I think switch slider. And if it's slider, it's not font hue, slider hue. If it's slider hue, what? I can't check against objects equaling objects.
I was about to ask about that. I've never seen that done before. Whether it's
Well-
possible or not is a separate issue, I guess, but it's
You can.
entirely possible that I've not seen that happen, but it could still be valid.
All right, we'll do it this way. We'll do it the old-fashioned way, because the new-fashioned way doesn't work. All right, so if slider is equal to slider hue, then we're going to set a breakpoint here. All right, so let's clear this breakpoint. Let's run, and let's see if we can get. If we right-click here, should have nothing happening. If I right-click here, cool, we reached the
Nice.
breakpoint. Yeah, not bad. We're getting there. So what's cool about this is all of the context menus for every one of these sliders, the same one, set min, set max. You can see that context menu still floating up there at the top.
Yeah.
And now that we can figure out which one it is, now we know what we need to do, how we need to change it. So what we're going to do now is we're going to say, I think we need one of these created. I'm going to close the app a second, shut it down, and create an instance of this inside my main window app here. There it is right there. Card generation options. By the way, for kids who are like wanting to learn Codrush, how did I do that so quickly? Just N in the backslash, because I had card generation options on the clipboard. At least I had that on the clipboard. I've now got this since then I put that on the clipboard. All right, so there's my card generation options. Then I want to say something along those lines. Set card gen options, I think. And I want to say pass in, am I going to use a string? I'm not sure yet. I need to be able to, yeah, I think I might. Yeah, I think the string I'm going to pass in, Rory, is the word that is prefaced by a min. So I'll pass in hue, sat, light, contrast, X, Y, H, V, and then these two I haven't figured out how to do yet.
Sure.
That's what I think I'm going to do. Okay, so we're going to pass in hue, and I think what I really want to do is let's declare this inside of what is it? Card gen options, I think. Card generation options dot hue. Let's declare that. Okay, let's do the same for the other pieces here. Sat. Oh, it's object. Let's make it a string. We're going to do light here. Contrast. X, Y. Yeah, it goes with Z, but I don't need Z now, CodeRush. I need V for vertical and Z for horizontal. And is that it? Oh, it's H for horizontal and V for vertical. Because I don't have conflict here. No, I do. Oh, no, I don't. I see. I don't because I'm using Q here and H for horizontal. I'm thinking about doing this, Roy.
Gives a bit of extra clarity, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Let's do that. Okay, which means we need to come over here, go to our layer options class, and go similarly rename those.
For those who've not, excuse me, for those who've not seen it, our reason for renaming here is purely because we've got a nice little bit of reflection going on that looks at the names of the properties on a class and uses it as a kind of a model, if you've ever seen MVC, to determine where it should get its data when it's loading data from our wonderful Google Sheets database. Database, yes. That's how, basically it's a far less code ultimately has to be written each time. It'll follow the pattern of whatever it sees. We can override this using attributes, but sometimes it just makes sense to change it in line as well.
Okay, so I've got the constants created here. We're using hue so far, right here. So we're going to pass in hue, and then we want to pass in the slider's value.
Yeah.
And I think we want to do one more thing. I think we want to pass in an enum, telling which one we're going to do. Boundary kind. It's going to be either a min or a max. That's all I need right there. Okay. So here's my boundary kind. Let's move that type to its own file. And get back over here. And we're going to do this, boundary kind.min. Good. I think I want to come in here, card generation options. I think I want the method to be inside of that. Is that true? Maybe not, because I need to get one more piece before I send it down to it. Let's declare this here. I need to get the card image layer associated with the active layer. Is kind of what I need to do. Card generation options dot set this is going to be the, can I do a rename here? Good, I found it. Key all right, and I need to get the, I think, is it just going to be active layer? I don't have an active layer. Okay, so I need the active layer. Let's go find LB layer. Let's use CodeRush to find this. LB layer. LB card layers. Selection changed. Card image layer. You doing anything with this? I think I am going to do this. I'm going to say active layer. is equal to card image layer. Okay, that's what I'm going to do. I think that may be all I need to do. Okay, so now I want to pass in the active layer to it as well. So now we're going to call set on that. And at this point, I just want to set a breakpoint here. See what we got. And I'm running it. Let me bring this up so you can see it. Here we are right here. This is what the UI looks like now. Some changes since last time. Notably with the ability to change the font size here, and also change, for example, the hue, the saturation of it, the lightness or darkness of it, as well as the opacity of it. I can also use this to come in and grab a color, so I can kind of get it to match something that's here, that's in there, and then maybe lighten it or darken it. So I've got a good contrast. You know, controls are nice and big. They're all together. There's some pretty good UI here. It's really not bad.
Yeah.
Still, we're not going to ship it. But at any rate, okay, so now what I want to do is let's go look at the back, for example. So my back, let's start adjusting the hue of it. All right, so we might argue that we want to limit the hue shifts to just a little bit of a range, just in here to here. Because if I go to these other ones, it kind of starts to look a little, maybe too unreal. Saturation's just too high.
So are you going to lock off the numeric value within the slider, or are you going to redefine the min and max of the slider to give you finer grain within those two?
No, I'm going to lock it in here, but I'm not going to change the min and max.
So rather than, I don't know, about an inch worth of movement on screen, you're going to have a few millimeters or something smaller, depending on what your locked off range is.
It's not really for UI, it's for automatic card generation. I want to say, look, it's going to look good within these ranges. So
okay.
Because I want to be able to randomly make some changes. So here I might want to really get this tight. Like I'll right click and say set min, and then maybe even right click and say set max at the same position.
Sure.
In other words, it's saying, hey, for random generation, there's nothing, you can make no changes.
Sure. So this is more for prototyping here now, but being able to set this min and max, as you say, gives the automated system an idea of what is okay. So you're not looking to constrain a user so much as an automated process.
Yes, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So I'm going to come in here and say set min here. Let's go see what we've got. So we're here, slider hue. Probably get rid of, well, oops, I just hit F10, but that's okay, cool. So now we're inside card generation options. I've got a layer. From the layer, I need to derive some important pieces in here. Ooh, but look, I've got a get that takes a card image layer, which is exactly what I want to do. So I want to say call get, passing in card image layer. And let's declare a new local for that. And we're going to call this options like this. All right.
Yep.
Card image layer, we need a getter. And the getter, this is the part I wasn't so sure about, but it's something along the lines of layer options first or default. Going to be, I need to kind of get the names of all of these. We've got a layer name. Actually, you know what I'm going to do before I do anything? I'm going to return null here. We'll come back to this in a second. Down here for options, I'm going to say, hey, if it's null, then I want to come back in and I want to say new layer generation options like this. And whoops, not that key, but this key, declare local on it. And then I want to set the different values here. So I want to say this dot layer name is equal to card image layer dot layer name, I think. The reason I'm not sure is because there's some parsing of the layer name that occurs. And so I just want to make sure I'm getting it all. I want to look at the actual data and see what it is for a few layers to get this right.
That's
So-
all good.
So this layer name is back. That's good. I want to see what else card image layer. Does it have alternates? I think it does. It does not. Okay, so this does not. So that means layer name, the layout name. Ooh, shoot. I don't think the card image layer has that. I don't have any layout. Shoot.
So what's the layout name then?
The
That's not
layout
one I'm familiar
name?
with.
What'd you say?
That's not one I'm familiar with for some reason.
The layout name is this. Right
Okay.
here. I need that to pass that in. So we need to pass that in. We need to stop the app here. We need to pass in the layout name. So we're going to say layout name, like that. Our gets needs to add that as a parameter. Layout name. And then down here, we're going to say layer generator layout options. And then we're going to say layout name is equal to layout name. Okay, we're getting close. And then there's another piece in here that says if later generation options dot alternates. Wait, what was it? I thought it was alternate. Oh, no. Sorry, not here. Card image layer dot alternates is not null, and this dot count for length count. Oh, dot card layers dot count. So alternate's not null, and I probably needed to say, and that's not null, and count is greater than 0. If that's the case, then we're going to come in and say this dot.
You need a excuse me. You need a card image layer dot alternates on that line 50 in the middle section.
Thank you. All right, then the sublayer name, we got to set that. And the sublayer name is, I think actually, we got to get something smart here. Let's get a breakpoint there. When we get there, we'll handle the parsing and we'll figure that out. All right, so now layer name, we need to pass in the active layer name, active style. Do I have an active style? I don't have an active style. Let's go figure out how we get that. It's in this control right here. Do not want to do that. Style picker. Menu card style. Route event button, click button style picker. Let's see what we got. All right, so here's where we figure out. This is how we're adding them. Add card style. Here's our click event handler. Changing the card style. Load new style. Style path. And I'm going to say active style is equal to style path. Like that. All right, now that I've got the active style, I'm going to pass that in right here. And now let's run it. Let's not run it yet. There was that double click. I hit undo on it, but it didn't take it out. Okay. Maybe I didn't hit undo enough times. Okay. So here we are. Okay, back is selected. Move my hue shift. We'll say that's the minimum. All right. So maybe clear this breakpoint. Go inside, go inside. There's my null. Layer name is back. Layout name is scrolls tan. If the alternates, that's not going to be true.
It is null, so that's going to go straight through.
So let's go in and create an else for this. We're going to say else these options dot sublayer name is equal to string dot empty. So there's no sublayer here. Then we need to check on boundary kind. And it's also occurring to me that up here, we need to do this. Let's first rename this to options, and let's kill that like that. So now we've set up our options in here. I think that's the only 3 properties we need to set in it. That's what I think we need to set. I'm also wondering about initializing the properties to sorry, not here. Here. Initializing all these properties to the min values for each of the sliders or the max value for each of the respective slider. So if there's nothing, if there's no data in the spreadsheet, it gets initialized to that value. That's what I'm hoping for. That's what I think I should do. Let's stop the program right now and actually do that. So chances visible, let's set that equal to 1. That's 100%. Min hue. Hackage69 is now following. Thanks for the follow, Hackage69. Let's look at this. Min hue. What's my slider say? Is negative 180 and 180. Equals negative 180. Shoot. And max hue is equal to 180. All right, what's next? Saturation. I think it goes from 0 to 1. Nope. Saturation. Oh yeah, because these are adjusts. This goes from negative 100 to 100. Okay. So the min saturation is equal to negative 100, and the max saturation is equal to 100. Lightness. Pretty sure that does the same thing. Let's do this. Just a quick scan to double check, make sure those are correct. Lightness. Where are you, lightness? There it is right there. Min is negative 100. 100 contrast is the same. Okay. What's going on with our Y offset? Min 400 to 400. Negative 400 to 400. So Y. Actually, I think I'm going to change Y and X defaults. Those are just going to keep these at 0, because 0 means there's no change. So that means min and max are both 0 on that. So
yeah.
I'm okay with both of those being 0. I don't know, do I want to explicitly put these here or not? Because they're already going to default to 0. I guess maybe not.
They are, yeah.
And sync position, I'm going to set that equal to true. Is that true? No, I'm not. I'm going to set that equal to false. So I'll keep that. Sync stretch, I'm going to set that to true. I'm going to do that. Okay, so there we've got those default options in there. I think there's, in the back of my head, Roy, I'm thinking there may be a problem with Google Sheets, our code there that initializes if the field is empty. I think it might initialize to 0. And I think we might find ourselves creating a custom attribute to specify this initialization in the event it's empty in the sheet.
Yeah. I mean, it's the distinction between not. I mean, the alternative is to not set it in the event of that being the case. And given that it'll have its default value, that will result in the same effect.
Yeah. Let's also come in here. If we're going to create a new one, we want to go into Google Helper.Google Sheets, and we want to say add, set, save changes. That's what it is. Save changes. The instance we're going to save is options. And I think that's it. And that'll write it out. In fact, now when we step through it, we should be able to see it, and should take all those default values across the board should be in there. So we may not have to worry about there ever being emptiness in here if we're always going to create it from the app. Let's run it and test that out.
Okay.
Roy's like, that's a reasonable request, Mark. All right, I will allow it. All right, so here we go. We're here. I'm going to dip this a little bit. Oh, I'm on the runes one. Let's go over here to back. Dip it a little bit. Right click it and say set min. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Right, and save changes. Let's go look at the Google Docs piece. There's the data coming in. Sublayer name is empty. Kind of interesting, these are coming in so slowly.
Yeah.
That seems to imply that we've got an inefficient algorithm out here making changes, because we are writing them one at a time. We're seeing what's changed, and we're setting those values out there.
Yeah.
Although that it occurs to me, I don't think we're going to need to do it. There's an interface we can implement that checks so we can say what's changed and what hasn't changed. So it knows what fields to save.
Okay.
So it can be maybe more efficient. We may do that later. But okay, cool. We've got our values.
Well, it works.
Yeah, that part works. So that's all good. This is showing, but the fact that we have values across the board here and they match the default values we just added shows that that are built in, that's how fast and easy it is to save, right? To save changes to any object at all, right? We just say go save. So we've got that. Now we're coming out over here. I think I need to, we're going to call this a boundary string. I think where I'm going after this, I'm going to use reflection is what I'm thinking I'm going to do, Rory, to get this. So now we're going to say boundary string is equal to, you know what, I don't even want to do this. I want to do this instead. I want to say get boundary string of boundary kind. That. We'll just cut that to the clipboard. We'll implement this. And here we're going to say return min. And this one return max. And I guess we can come in and say RSC or just throw an exception like that. No, that's my exception. I don't advise you do this in a professional setting, but that's what I'm feeling like today. Yeah, we get that exception is totally unexpected. So boundary string, I forgot my N in here. Okay, so now I need to compose the property. So the property name that's going to be equal to we need the boundary string. Followed by the key.
Oh, the key. I was going to say, I forgot what you called it, but you've got a nice pattern going on, with the exception of those last two columns, anyway.
When you said the last two columns?
Well, because they're all min-maxes apart from the last two columns in the sheet. Sync pos and sync stretch. You said you were going to figure a way to deal with those later.
Yes. I agree with that. I totally agree with that, Rory. I'm not sure how yet, because
Fair enough.
But we're okay. Here's my property name. Let's go down there and at least check out what my property name is. Menu, sweet. So now what I want to do am I using system reflection in here? I probably am not. Yeah, okay, let's stop it and let's come back in here. Let's do that. Then I want to go something like type of clear generation options dot get property name. That gives me my property info. All right, now that I have my property info, I'm going to say property info dot set value. The instance will be my options, and the value will be the value we're passing in.
Okay.
And I think that's it. Now we want to change it though afterwards. Well, if we're changing it afterwards, I might as well come down here and do this. Let's remove that qualifier. Well, that's not exactly true, because I could potentially get to here and exit. Let's go look at something for a second. Let's look at this architecture. This descends from base name ID.
Okay.
Which descends from track property changes. I don't need base name ID, but I do need track property changes. Track property changes is an implementation of iTrack property changes. This is what the Google Sheet, the Google helper code that we wrote looks for to see if you're an implementer of it. If you are, you've got a list of changed properties. Okay,
yes.
But we have to implement iNotify property changed, and but if we do that, we're going to get on a virtual on property changed already.
Yes.
And I think we get the property changed event handler. So what's cool about this is that it allows us to have a very sophisticated. Here, let's go in here. It allows us. Let's go into its layer. You say it descends from that. Now here's the problem though, is we have for each one of these we got to do this. In fact, it's actually going to be faster and easier for me to cut the name out, delete that, and type in PSF, CodeRush build it for us. Because CodeRush sees this, goes all the way up the hierarchy, sees it implements iNotify property change, and adds that line and adds this line in the setter, getter and setter. So that's what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use CodeRush to do this. I'm going to delete this, delete the line, or rather cut that, and then I'm typing PS here and paste, and I'm done with that.
Does CodeRush have any facility to convert one to the other?
Nope.
Given that that's the ancestor.
It does not. It does not.
shame.
And I'm just not sure, like, if I want to do that or not. Let me see if I can get this up here. I want to see if I can group these together. I want to make sure my future. I'm going to just drop a marker up here. Come down here. Let's repeat this. Yes, again. Like, oh shoot, got the wrong thing on the clipboard. That's the thing I wanted. Sublayer name. Where did that guy go? Good, up there at the top. That's where I want it. Okay. Again, we've got our initialization. Dang, dang, dang. All right, so how is this? How are we going to quickly change this? I can't really think of a way to do that.
And you're eliminating your defaults as well.
That's what I'm talking about, the initialization, I think, right?
You almost want to convert the existing ones into fields and then wrap those fields. Would that carry the initialization with it?
The CodeRush working
Yeah.
in? No, it would not. No. All right. Or I'm just going to do this. We'll just keep going here. PD like that. Min hue. Drill into min hue. Whoops, wrong key. Drill into min hue. Min hue is going to be negative 180. Like that. Jump back out. It's also adding an extra line to the top here. I'm not happy with that. I'm not sure if I want to report that yet or not. Max hue. Like that. Min sat. Min sat was negative 100, I think.
Yeah.
Max hue is equal to 180. Max sat. Wait, is there another way I can do this? I'm just thinking of wait, isn't there another faster way I can do this with CodeRush? I'm thinking about using smart duplicate selection.
Okay.
Is what I'm thinking about. Like this, including that. Hold on, not done yet. Hold on. I think I want to do this first. All right, take that, copy that, paste that, turn it to max, then go and take, here's where things get a little crazy. Coming here, grab that, 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 and this. All right, now here's what I do is I take both of these, copy it, come down here, paste, and now I can type in light and I get both sets of properties here.
Nice.
Lights. If I can freaking get my fingers on the right spots, and then come down again, paste one more time and type in contrast, like that, and then take these. I still have X and Y still to go on those. So I can still keep going. Paste X, paste Y, X, Y, horizontal, invert. Let's do those. Paste horizontal, paste, invert, like that. Okay, cool. We can get rid of all of these from there to there.
Yep.
All of these we can turn into fields. Oops. All right, you got me. You tricked me. Okay, now we're going to put these back up here. That wasn't too bad.
No,
Right.
no, not bad at all, actually.
We
And actually, to some extent, given that we need all of the extra code within each of those properties, it's nice to be able to move the values, the default values, all up into a single location where we can see them all at a glance.
I totally agree with that.
They get lost otherwise in the machinations of the methods.
Yeah. Oh, what's here with min? Doesn't exist. Min and max X.
Huh.
Okay, looks like I missed this. Oh, I know why, because they didn't have defaults.
Right. Okay. Yes.
So there's min X, can be min Y. Both of these are going to duplicate those, and look at that. Coder's got the realized I wanted to do the max instead of. Well, it didn't realize, but Coder doesn't actually realize, but let's do the same thing again. Let's come down here. This is going to be max cores like that. And then we're going to have a min, or no, we're going to say change this to max vert. Like that. Then we're going to take both of these, duplicate it again. Oh, Coder, she didn't save me that time. Come down here and change these both to min. I think that's going to get them all. And then we're left with the last two properties here. This, sync position. So let's get this. And this one's sync stretch. Now the cool thing about this one is the one we want to initialize to true. Sync stretch like that. Let's go jump into its declaration, make sure it's initialized to true. Okay, good. Now, I know there was a little bit of work. It would be nice, yes, it would be nice if we could have something built in that converts this automatically. But the cool thing I want to emphasize now is now that we've implemented that particular interface, when we save, we'll only make the call to save to the cell for the property that has actually changed. That's the cool thing about it. Everything, this call to on property change goes up into the ancestor. It figures out the caller member name, since we're not passing anything into it. Checks to see if it is the isDirty flag. If it is, if it's not, then it sets isDirty to true. So now we know that this thing is dirty. Okay, so that's cool. Let's go back over to where we were, which is, I think, here. So now when we set the value here, ooh, is this going to call? Is this going to set isDirty? That's the question. If we use reflection to set the value, I think it will.
It's got to, because we're referencing a property, and the property has that logic built into it. So, yeah.
So now, then that means when we call Google Sheets the second time, it'll just save that one property. That's what we're expecting to see here. All right, so let's try it. Isn't it funny, Rory? Sir Fetish Fancy's out there. Hey, Sir Fetish Fancy. Welcome to the show. Didn't see you. Kind of snuck in. All right, there we are. Let's come in here again. Let's go back to the back one, the one we've been playing with. Make some sort of change. Right click and say set min. All right, we're in here now. There it is. We're creating the new one. At this point...
Okay, so we're at the point of setting now.
Yeah. We're setting the info on this. There's my value, negative 39. If we go in here, min hue is at negative 180 right now.
Okay.
All right, and if we come in here and we run this, we should see that update. It did. So the fact that updated, that means isDirty flag was set automatically and made the change. So that's sweet.
Yes.
You know what, Roy? I guess what I'm saying is, we've been doing this show for about, 2+ years, maybe 3, getting close to it, it feels like.
Yeah.
Time flies when you're, writing code. But one of the things that my takeaway on this is this, I find this Google Sheets API really useful. It's not like maybe industrial strength like a database is, but from the standpoint of having a minimum amount of code that I have to write in exchange for a fairly high degree of functionality, it satisfies.
Yeah. It's not bad at all.
All right, so now I've set that min hue for that. Let's just clear the breakpoint, continue to run. Let's now set the max hue that we would allow. Right click it and say set max. Oh, we don't have this yet. Okay. Well, and
we have something pretty close.
Yeah. We also I think we need a secondary.
The code that would go in here, does it vary other than that enumerated value at all.
Hold on.
In other words, we could extract the boundary kind min to a variable, then extract the rest of the method, and just call the same method from both places, just with a min versus max.
That's exactly what I'm looking at and doing right now. So I'm looking at this, and I want to say set. I'm going to kill it because I've had problems in the past with creating overloads, but just as I killed it, I was thinking, oh no, maybe not. Heading continue, I think, can handle that now. But I had problems in the past, so I'm going to say set card gen options. I want to take this and promote this. What? There's no promote to parameter? Oh, Code Rush. Code Rush devs, you're in trouble. All right, here we go. Here's my issue. Whoops. All right, kids, I am here, and I want to promote this to parameter. I'm on an enum element. Not there. Come on, guys. Let's have a meeting about this. We're going to talk about it. I'm kidding. I know they're rolling their eyes like, oh, Mark. Come on. But yeah, I want this. I want to have promote to parameter here. Give me that. Why don't I have that there? Promote to parameter needs to be here. Let's mark that.
Does it work if you don't highlight the whole thing? Does it work if you just place the caret on the word min?
Try it. Nope. Promote to parameter
okay.
is not there. Promote to parameter. Unavailable for enum elements. Instead of unavailable, must be available. All right.
I didn't notice. Do we have introduce local there as well? Is that equally? Because that's the workaround. Is you introduce local and then maybe as a local it can be promoted.
Good suggestion, really. Wow. I don't even have Visual Studio's introduce local.
Huh.
Okay, let's do it manually then. Can I do it here? Promote to parameter, finally. Okay,
There we go.
there we go. All right, so we're going to do that from here, and then we're going to do this with max from here. That's what you were suggesting, right, Rory?
Yeah, but we still need the get slider from sender prequel code. 3 or 4 lines there. And the test for null. And
I'm moving the test for null inside.
oh, okay. But yes, that's the general plan.
Okay, so here we go. Slider hue. Now what I want to do is let's grab this, grab that, multi-select both of those, and now we're going to come in here and call this light. And we're going to call this sat. And we're going to call this contrast. Looks like maybe I've got a naming issue with saturation, I bet.
Light's got the same thing.
Lightness. Whoops. Lightness. All right, and then slider X, slider Y, slider, do I have a stretch or something like that? Horizontal stretch. And this one's definitely not that. I think this was just HORZ, right? And let's duplicate that, go to vertical stretch, VRT. And this is probably X position, offset X, okay, I'll take it, and offset Y. I feel like, start to get it 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 8 properties that we can set right now. Let's run that. All right, so not bad. You had introduced constant.
Yes, that was available despite no introduce local. So
I didn't see that. Thanks, Coding Gorilla. I did not notice that.
Is that the first contribution Coding Gorilla's made today? I obviously arrived a little late, but I saw no introduction, no No fanfare.
Oh, you're right. We saw another fanfare tonight. You know, when this has happened in the past, the fanfare's breaking, it was due to a Twitch API change that was throwing an exception that was killing something in our code. And yeah, and I'm like, when I, yeah, so we have no fanfares. Is that what's going on? Let's see. Do we have the bubble messaging now? Fred says, hi. Bubble messaging is dead. Did I kill something? What did I kill? Oh, you know what? I'm just going to restart everything. That's what I'm going to do. We'll get this thing going again. Just killing the apps. Apps are dead. Dead, dead, dead. Now starting them back up again. One. Ooh, possible corruption. Oh no. That's not
Wow.
good. That's code I wrote to detect that. I need to jump out to Dropbox.com and jump out to this app data is where we put it. Mr. Announcer Bot. I'll bring this up. And we're looking for all viewers. Jason, it's that guy right there. Version history. Something new for me. Thanks for that. That's the one I want to restore. That says it's the current version at 98 point. I don't think that's right. Oh wait, I know what happens. I need to resume syncing. I paused Dropbox before the show. So it's got to sync that. I have to wait for it to sync before I can get that back. It says it's got about a minute to go. 2 minutes. It's syncing and the source code changes. But what I want it to sync. Well, I guess I could also restore this one. Let's do that. Okay, so hopefully is that restored? I'm just looking at my Dropbox. I'm not sure. It says about 38 seconds left. All right, we're gonna check and see. I'm gonna disconnect here. Yeah, so I added code to alert me if the data corruption problem occurred again.
Nice.
So that was what's going off there. There we go. So the restored piece is here. Data's back. That's good. All right, what else do I need to start up? I've done that one. Let's do the overlay manager. Let's start up the Dungeons and Dragons app. And the last step I need to do is I need to refresh all of the overlays, including the drone game. And with that, now if I come in and say Fred hi, but it still doesn't say hi. That doesn't make sense to me. Do I have control over here? I do. Okay.
Can cause things to close, so that's working.
I've got control of the hands. I don't have control. Oh, no, wait, there we go. But why don't I have a... Oh, I can do it over here.
And now it's all working.
Does it feel like talking? Is that true, Fred? What did I say?
So just the speech. Thoughts are fine, but...
Thoughts aren't working from this chat room, though. See, I do that. Nothing's coming in. That's interesting. So we've seen that die before. I'm going to spend some time to go look at that. I'm not going to pursue it now, but you know, gotta have to look at that. Okay. Sure. All right. So let's look at some of the other pieces that are out here. I want to mess with, let's, I wanted one more option here.
What's that?
I want the option to be synchronize vertical and horizontal offsets. Synchronize these. I don't know why I added synchronize XY. I don't think I really ever want sync XY, to be honest. Synchronizing X and Y means we're just going to go in a diagonal kind of thing. That doesn't really make sense to me.
The sync width
Sync
and
position
height,
doesn't make sense.
sort of lock aspect ratio, wasn't that the other one?
Yeah. Sync position could make sense if I had several items that we were connecting together and I was going to synchronize those. But those can already be determined. I can already synchronize multiple objects together based on the file name. The file name includes clues to this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to close this down. I'm going to delete this property called sync position here. I'm going to delete and I'm sorry, I say this, it's right here. I'm going to kill that sync position, delete that column. Let's go out to here, find it as well, sync position, and we are going to delete it. Okay, so now we've only got sync stretch. We've only got that one piece that we need that special menu item for. And I think what I'm going to do is create a second context menu for it. I'm going to create just a very specific one for it is what I'm going to do. Oh, look at this. I was just going to say, I wish Tabgenix Reference did this, but it just does it. It does it already. I think, to be fair, I think we asked for this a while back and they said, all right, fine, we'll give it to you. So I want to go find the sliders for, oh no, wait, you know what? I do have two of these. It does make sense for me to duplicate this. Create a new one. Can I duplicate that? Okay, no, all right. So it did work or not. This is kind of weird what I'm getting. I'm undoing this. A couple things. Perf didn't seem very good on this. Let me report a code rush issue on this. All right, take a look at this. I've got context menu and style both selected. I'm hitting Shift Enter. 1, 2, 3. About 2.5 seconds to get me here. That seems like it's way too long, right? That should just come in instantly, right? My machine is one of the fastest machines you can build, and with available technology, it should come in instantly for whatever the heck's going on here. So let's take a look at the performance there. That's number one. I guess that's it. I'm just going to mark that, and we'll let the devs go figure that one out. That's performance issue. Smart duplicate selection in XAML. Took way too long. That's a good issue. I'm glad we caught that one today. Okay, so let me just hit escape, and we're just going to make these changes by hand in here. This is going to be called, this key is going to be called random cardgen stretch. Is what it's going to be called. And we need one more here that's going to be called it's going to be called synchronize horizontal and vertical. I guess I have no way out but the really long name here. Horizontal and vertical. What do I got to do? AMP? Horizontal and vertical. Synchronize horizontal and vertical. That's what I'm going to do. Here we need our own new menu item event handler for that. Synchronize Really? I'm not gonna type this whole thing in again.
Sync HV.
Yeah, I know. Synchronize horizontal and vertical. Menu item click. Okay, so there we have that. Then we're going to come down and use that here. And this key is going to be CTX card gen slider stretch, I guess, is what it will be. And now I want to come in here, find this, and replace it in the horizontal stretch that's here and the vertical stretch, which is here. That should give us one additional menu item for both of those. Let's run it. And let's right click. Nice. Nice. Okay. Now, I really want to check this box when this thing pops up.
Yeah.
So we need to do that. Are you like, Roy, are you like, oh man, Mark, you are boring my mind to death.
No. I mean, I'm just thinking that I'm pretty sure that the menu item has a checked property. Well, if not, then we can stick a checkbox in alongside it.
Yeah, I don't.
What I'm wondering more about is the fact that you've put these up as styles, and where is it going to read the data from?
No, yeah, no, I get that. I think what I'm going to do is I want to find an event in here. Hold on, let's get this back going here.
On about to display kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. And I forget what it is here. Let's see if I can go into the hierarchy and look only at menu item and look only at events. I think it might be this one. Like it's the old, these are my choices. I think it's this one. What's my other?
It's the best looking one, isn't it, out of that lot?
Yeah, I know. That's okay. Let's look at, let's create a new, let's see if we get an event handler in here. We're going to rename this as well. And set a breakpoint there, see if we can get to it. Breakpoint there. Okay, so right click, did not get it.
No.
Got that one, but didn't get this one. Okay, hold on.
So you're going to need to do the context menu opening, i.e. the parent, because that's when this item is calculated or is added.
That's brilliant, Rory. That's brilliant. I was going a different way. I was thinking, well, I'm going to just force it to work. And I was going to figure out something different. It doesn't have submenu open, but what has it got?
It'll have something though, right?
Yeah, I think you're right. It will. We've done it before, actually. I just forget what it is. So we're going to tap the control key here, go into hierarchy, say, we've also got menu base. If I want to include descendants, I do control plus the number. So control 1 is going to give me menu base all the way down to context menu. And then I can now tap control again and hit E for events. What?
That didn't work.
Maybe I missed it. I may have hit the letter N, which on my keyboard is nearby. Okay, that's a lot. Is it doing the hierarchy? Doesn't feel like it is. Let's look at the hierarchy one more time. Control 1. That doesn't make sense.
That's a lot of events.
Yep, it is. Events. Whoops, sorry. Control, hierarchy. Let's try just 0. 0. And then control E. That's making more sense to what I'm seeing.
Okay.
But
and opened would be the
control H.
Proverbial.
Control 1. There was no changes. I don't think control 1 is working. Let's report it. I think it's an issue. Oh, look at this. You can't see it. It's right behind Fred. Control 1 is not working. Whoops. Hold on. Kids, take a look at this. Control 1 was pressed, waiting for second key. Look at that. So here's what's happening. I'm like, where the heck was I? Right here. I had control space to bring this up. It says tap control for options. That's Code Rush. Of course I will. So I hit the tab key. I mean the control key. Then I hit H for hierarchy. Then I choose control 1. Right? Control 1. And look what it says. Control 1 is pressed, waiting for second key.
Studio stealing our keystrokes.
Or maybe something else. It could be something else. But control 1 does not work. Holy cow,
Yeah.
that's a big deal. Let's go report that. Give me a second. Code Rush issue. Control plus num fails in IntelliRush. Test cases? We should have test cases for this already. Come on. Let's get this. Let's get it right, guys. Okay, so that is, that's failing. I think I can use the menus as a workaround, though. I mean, the mouse as a workaround. So one more time. Control. Maybe I can't, though, can I hold down the control key and click it? Ooh, that seemed to work. Menu base. Oh, no, it says menu base entries only, even though I had the control key down. Oh, wait. On this one, Rory, have the devs watch a little longer. Watch this. For the workaround, control, hierarchy. Is this... Why can't the mouse work here? The mouse should work here. I don't mind having to hit the keyboard. Whoops. Hold on again. Control. But clicking the mouse should work here. So we need to fix that. H, I hit it. If I hit here, it works. If I click there, why doesn't H work? Clicking on H. So clicking on H is a big deal. Add that to your reply to that, please, Rory.
Yep.
Okay. One more time. Control, hierarchy. I can hit 1. I can't hit control plus 1. We already saw that was problematic. But I can click menu base. Why can't I hold the control key down and click it? Control click should select plus descendants. That's what it should do, but it's not. All right. Okay, so let's go back into hierarchy. Context menu only. Again,
I believe we
events.
looked at opened as our
Yeah.
discovered item.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let's rename this. Let's delete this one. Okay, let's set a breakpoint here. Run again. All right, we're up. And right click. That's what I'm looking for. 3 items. It's a context menu. So, context. Oh, file load exception. Open log file. Hold on. Let's report this. And I should say, you know, if you're sitting there thinking, Mark, you're getting a lot of errors. Yes, some of these are in the product we ship, but I'm also using an interim build, testing out some software. All right. So looks like debug visualizer had an issue here. Take a look at the activity log. That's the issue there. It happened while I was typing in. If you roll back, just typing in the word context here, trying to get context menu to come up using IntelliSense. I had hours on and nothing's happening. I think it's maybe related to IntelliRush as well. Let's see what happens. Can I get Visual Studio? Visual Studio is similarly failing IntelliSense to bring up any IntelliSense on context menu. Okay, let me close that down. You can hear Rory typing furiously in the background. He's doing a good job out there. This issue is activity log error debug visualizer. Initializer and maybe IntelliSense or IntelliRush. Okay, that's the issue. Put that down there. All right, getting a lot of good issues today. It's a good day. All right, so anyway, context menu. Why does in context menu? Oh, it's a property, and I want it to be a type. It's got to be that the clipboard. I'm going to say FN that. Wow, I did that thing again. I was doing this before you got here, Rory, I think. Yeah, it was. I've already reported it, so I'm going to blast right past it. So we're getting here. I need to know who the parent is on this. Can I do this?
That looks
method,
reasonable.
Get slider from context menu.
Yeah.
All right. And then we're going to come down here. Clear that. Let's just step through that, see what we get. What do we got? All right, we got slider. There's no name for this thing, but it's got a name out there, is what it is. So now what we want to do. I made a mistake here. This, we need to change this up again. We're going to say slider name part. I don't know. Can't think of a good name for this variable here. Yeah, there's also, this is an interesting kind of code smell and fix right here. I've got basically the same method being called with only one parameter that's changing in every line of code.
Yep.
Right here. It is arguably easier to read if I have only one and I do this there. And then I come down here and I say this is equal to that.
Yeah.
Right? It's less code.
That's right. And arguably what you're doing now is a conversion dependent on one variable to another variable, which could prove useful in other situations. So you could extract that out and just call that from multiple locations, and then the result comes here and you just pass it on in a single call.
Yeah, and that's exactly where I'm going. I just realized this is easier to make all of these changes if I were to put all of these on one line like this. Right? And I could have gone through that a little bit more, but all right, we're going to come in here and I'm going to
Coding Gorilla is asking, should you not also use a switch case? We looked at that. In the moments when we were doing it, we found that we weren't able, or didn't seem like we were allowed to compare objects in the switch case. Now, we didn't spend a huge amount of time on it, that's true, but there was definitely some kind of an error.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it. I'm happy to try one more time on it. Yeah, I was surprised as well that we weren't able to do it. Let's first do this. Now we extract this. It's going to be called get slider name part. Okay. And let's one more time. There's no conversion. Coderush isn't doing this, isn't offering this. Yeah, when we came in here and did this switch on slider, and when the expression was is slider equal to slider hue, we got a problem. It was like, nope. It was like, nope, you can't do that. A constant value is expected. That's the problem. Because it's a variable. So I'm like, okay. So anyway, that's what we've got. there. Get slider name part is now working. We can inline that temp. And now this code's getting easier to read here. That was a little bit messier. And then down here, we've got the slider name part. So let's come back in here. This. Now we've got vert. Okay. So now we know what slider it's coming from. Then we need to go into the options, the active options, which is going to be, I'm just drilling into here. And I think what we want to do is I think I want something that says, I think I want a method that returns a Boolean that says called get horizontal and vertical sync, like this. And it needs to pass in a string called layout name and a card image layer. Here, let's just drop a marker here. We'll grab that as well. We'll come back up here. And that needs to be public. And it's also occurred to me that this get needs to work. This get actually needs this all needs to be in the get. Get needs to give me something no matter what.
Okay.
And then up here, we need to do something like this. And now we want to say, hey, we are going to get x dot layer name is equal to card image layer dot layer name, and x dot layout name is equal to layout name, like that, double equals. Okay, that's going to give me my first or default there. That's going to be there, and if it's none, then we're going to go add it, and then we're going to return options at the end, like this. The only thing is whenever we get into here to figure out how we're doing the alternates, we need to add one more piece here. So I'm going to put a to-do right inside the expression, say figure out how to find by sublayer name. Layer name, like that.
Okay.
And then
Mark, how happy are you in a method called get to be leaving a save changes instruction to Google in there? I can see it going either way, to be honest, because it's only going to happen in the event of well,
I'm pretty good.
we should only be doing it in the event of creating a new options object, which at that point won't be in Google Sheets, so we should put it there. I just wonder, is there any instance where we're going to call get not expecting that to be a thing that happens?
No,
to be honest, it's probably fine.
I think I'm good. I'm relatively comfortable with it. I know I'm only calling it. Yeah, I'm totally fine doing that. We could. Well, the other thing we have to do, oops, I could do this too. We don't have to save it, but at the very least, hold on, add. In the context in which I understand it will be called, I'm fine with it. In a larger context, the idea that maybe this will be used by other parts of the code somewhere, yeah, I'm less comfortable. We don't want to change that. I'm going to add options here. And there's another piece too that we should add somewhere in here. I'll just throw the to-do here. Be sure to save any unsaved changes on app shutdown. Somehow we got to solve that problem. Call it find or create. Fine. Okay.
Cool.
So now we've got a find or create on the layer options, and we want to say return layer options dot sync stretch.
Yes.
Okay. Then down here, oops, not there, sorry. I want to go over here, and I want to say card generation options dot get horizontal and vertical sync. The layout name is, I think I've already got it, active layout. I thought I had active layout in here. Did I not type it in enough? What was I doing the active layout before?
You had an
Active
active
style.
layer, not
Active
layout.
style. It was active style. I actually just need
Okay.
these two pieces and pass them in. That's what I should be passing in there. Now, if we've got that menu, then what I want to do is I now need to go find that third menu item,
Yes.
right? I almost want to do it for each item. Menu item. For each menu item inside of here, I want to check to see, hey, if menu item dot tag is equal, I almost want to do something like this. I don't know. Can I do that? I don't know if I want to, like, you know, check on the text, the header on it. I'm not really sure what I want to do. Because I've got brittleness everywhere I look on this, right? I feel like I'm playing chess, and somebody's got me in a, you know, it's got everywhere I move. It's like, oh, that could be bad, that could be bad, that could be bad.
Yeah.
I can't really give it a name because it's in a style. I think I can't give it a name. Let's see if I can give it a name, because that's the least brittle version I can think of. We're going to say menu sync stretch. Why don't I just call this synchronized stretch? And why not? I'm okay. I can do this. I'm okay. I'm a big boy. I can just say sync. I don't even need that H. This is how big of a boy I am. Mark's a big boy. All right. So
Proud of you, Mark.
yeah, you know I could do that, Karen. Karen walked in and I realized I was a big boy. So, okay. Menu item dot name equals menu sync stretch, or, oh geez, even better. Oh my God, Mark. Okay, I just got myself out of checkmate. Anybody?
Hey.
Oh no, it's not an item. Yeah, it can't find it. Is it because, yeah, no. All right, I did my
Because
best.
it's not one thing, it's many in
Yeah,
different places.
yeah, it's right. Visual Studio's right. I'm like, okay. All right, so anyway, if the
This is
menu
why
item-
we like compilers.
Then finally, we're going to come down here and say is checked is equal to
Yeah.
get horizontal and vertical sync, get sync stretched. I'm going to change this to get sync stretch. Normally, I'm not a fan of short abbreviations in the code. But you know what? Since we're using this in the code, we're using it in the name, I think I'm okay with all of those. Okay, so get sync stretch is checked. Slider name part, I'm not using this. I don't think I need to. Well, wait, I need to verify it's in one of these two. if slider name part is equal to oh, you want to see another code smell? Here, hold on a second. Let's fix this. Or slider name part is, oh, look at CodeRush go. Good job, CodeRush. If that's the case, then we can go in and do that. So if the slider is horizontal vertical stretch, then we can go in and we can set that property. Okay, now here's the other code smell. This really makes sense to be inside of card generation options. I think right here. That's what I think it should be. So let's go find this. Let's go do that to it.
Does card generator options have access to the various valid values of slider with which to do the comparison?
You're right. You backed me out of that fast. You saved me. This is why it's so awesome you're here right now. I know you have to leave soon, Rory, but the fact that you're here now just saved my butt from having to back that up. Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so now the next thing we need to do though is we need to set it because we're not actually setting it. But the fact that it defaults to true means we should see this returning true when we right click it. That's kind of my test for this right now.
That feels correct, yeah.
All right, so starting up. Here's the test. Layer options is null. What do I got here? Oh, I see why. Let's do this instead. What, it didn't like this? Why didn't you? Oh, you did like the change. It just was taking a while. Okay. Options is true. Yeah, because in my property, I say let's call load, but I wasn't accessing. Am I accessing this anywhere else? Let's go look anywhere else. That should be like this. Okay, good. All right, continue to run. Oh, we got some alternates. Okay, so we have alternates. What's the layout name? It's rune large. I don't think we need actually to store the sub-layer name because the sub-layer name is large. It's already got it in the whole thing.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure about this, if we need to do this or not. Knowing this now, that kills this to do. That's code's all gone and simplifies. This is gone as well.
You took out the else clause there, Mark. Did you mean to?
Yes.
Yes, because it's okay. Fair enough.
Nope. Thank you. We need to take out this piece as well, so we don't need that to do in there as well anymore. We go into, I think over here, we look for the sub layer name property. We don't need that anymore. Right here. Let's go jump in there, delete this, come back out. This is actually great news. Selection increase, delete. Last thing to do is go into this, grab that. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'm loving it.
Nice. Yeah.
That's the best. And usually we don't get news like that on the show, Rory. We absolutely do not get news like that. Okay. And by the way, I love how simple this is, right? Just the one indexer there, the indexer there. And now the whole engine knows that these two form a unique identifier for that particular entry in the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Okay, sync stretch is true on that, on the back for that. We might set this one to false. Let's try setting it to false. Okay, and now let's run the app. So that means on anything but that, we should get true because that's the default value. But on that back layer for that, for the tan scroll, which is this first one that comes up,
yes,
it should be true. So right now, so runes is selected. Right click. Uh-oh.
Do I have to right click the slider itself, i.e. the thumb, or?
Oh, it was what? Just seemingly like taking a long time. It thinks I hit the synchronize horizontal and vertical menu item. What was happening there? Okay, right click and wait for a second. Okay, sync stretch is true. I think it was going out and doing a check to Google to do the load, maybe?
Oh, right.
Is that true? Maybe it
Maybe.
was. That was maybe what my deal was. Okay, so that's true. That's the default. Let's click on back and right click it. And it's not set. Okay,
Nice.
so sweet. So we have the read is working correctly. Good. Now I want to come in and do set the value. All right, we need to do it. Set card gen options. This grabs the value right here. I want to do it.
This
I think an
doesn't
overload of
work
this.
quite so well, does it? Because this expects a boundary kind min-max, and this is not that kind of thing.
Yep, you're right. I'm going to just create a special one for this, is what I'm going to do. So we're going to say the key in this value, the key here that we're sending in is sync stretch, just the whole property name right there. The value is going to be, well, I guess we got to go through the sender on this, which is probably a menu item, right? Menu item. And this is going to be FN like that. Sender. If not sender is menu item, then we're out. And then we're going to come in here. And then we're going to say menu item dot is checked.
That sync stretch is supposed to be a string, right? Because it's a key.
You are correct, sir. And so now we're going to say set. I'm going to change this. Actually, I'm just going to do this. All right. Let's declare that. All right. Come in here. Get our options. And shoot, we need a layout name. Where's my layout name? Active layout. No, active style is the layout name. Whoops. Hold on a second.
Yes. Oh, it's one of those horrible dialogues that can take away all the code.
Don't say anything there. I just had I accidentally deleted the open paren there and hit some other key. This is going to be the active style. Maybe just change this to style, like that. Okay, options. If options not null, which it should not be, sync stretch is equal to is checked, which we might want to say sync stretch. Wow. Okay.
And following previous logic, we need to save that.
I'm with you. Okay, run. All right, so now right click it, turn it on, just run it. Right click it, turn it on, right click it, no, turn it on. That's not okay. Let's follow the logic in here and see what's happening. Scrolls 10, active layer is back. Is checked is false.
Because
It hasn't changed
up
yet.
until this point, we haven't changed it.
I think that's what's going on.
That's it.
Oh, wait, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do that.
That's slightly clearer.
Yeah.
Make the alteration and then save that value.
Okay, here we go. So sync stretch is true. I'm not sure how we got there. That might have been the last. I didn't continue. Turn it off. Good. Turn it on. Good. Good.
And does that mean we have, mind you, this will be changing the existing value in the Google Sheet, but we can equally change another value, which will then lead to additional rows, I guess?
No.
that not-
Well, change another value on this layer will lead to no more rows. But if we come in
Fair enough,
here
yeah.
and we right click it, this is going to add a different row. What's interesting is this right click, it takes a while for it to come up the first time because it's creating a new entry for it. Right click over here. Let's do it. Watch it. Right click. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wow.
Wow.
6 seconds the first time because it's going out there creating that new piece. I'm thinking now we do not save that and we save it later.
Yeah.
This is kind of what I'm thinking. I'm also thinking we may have to go in. Well, the thing is, once these start getting saved, it's not that big of a deal. It's really, is it really only needed? What's the, is it, because if we go to scroll top and we right click here, I think it's immediate. Yeah, it's only here that we make a save.
Yeah.
What if we changed that?
I mean, we're not immediately saving almost anything else, are we?
Nope, we're not.
So it's kind of an inconsistent experience. It was good for debugging and seeing that it worked, but
let's do this. Let's create a method called find, like this. And let's only use the find method down below for, where's my get sync stretch? Right here. All right, and then we're going to say, hey, if that's null, then we're going to say return true, because that's the default.
okay.
Otherwise, we're going to return that. Let's take this and move it now closer to here. So if we set it, we will make some changes. That gives us a much better experience when we run, at least. It's a minor change. There's I have a sense that there's a bigger problem here, and that I think I can save data out to the Google Sheets with fewer calls if I create a complex range. If I can detect that the range I need to save is contiguous in the spreadsheet, I can make one call instead of individual calls. So now if we select like icon and right click over here, did it? I can't tell. Yeah, I think it's going faster.
That's quite a bit faster.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, it is.
There's sure as anything, no 6-second delay in that.
Right, I was just the first one. I wasn't sure if it took that time or not to get here. The other thing that's interesting now is if sync stretch is on, when I move one, I should move the other, I think. I kind of feel like, we added code that said if the shift key was down, we do both at the same time. But now I'm thinking, well, if that's checked, we should honor that, I think, to some degree. I don't know. Well, it is in fairness, that's for the generation. That's what's going on there for the generation. It's potentially occurred to me, we have a small problem here. I think I'm going to deal with this later. But one of the problems we have here is, if you'll notice, these are not zeroed out for this right here. If I zero them out, excuse me, if I zero them out, this is what they look like, right? It's too big. Yeah. So the default generation items for placeholders in terms of size variance is an incorrect position. It's not zero, it's a non-zero position. Yeah. So, which is kind of a pain in the butt. That means for each one of the placeholders, in order to do code generation or card generation for it, I have to right click and choose set min, and then right click and choose set max. There's my 6-second delay, by the way.
Yeah. Not
my happiest right there. There's set max. Set max was much faster because we're only changing one value the next time we're in there. That's what I'm talking about right there. right? These we'll have to solve this. This is a problem. They're probably going to be a problem when we generate this. Everything else, the defaults are good in everything else. So now we've got, with the back part of the layer here, I've got a hue that I can move in this direction as well. I can say that's the max. So now that will give us a random kind of hue shift from here to here, if I wanted to, right?
Yeah.
It's now constrained, right, by these values you see here and here.
Okay.
The next step is to actually start generating cards using these values that are in here. I think I'm going to save that for tomorrow. That's what I think, and I think I'm going to actually end the show before you leave, Rory. That's what I think I'm going to do. That's kind of what I'm feeling like. We'll come in tomorrow, and we'll work on this tomorrow. We'll actually be generating cards based on the values here, and that's when we'll actually start seeing how cool or how bad this is. I think with the combination of these constraints plus the artwork that we have, I think we're actually going to get some not bad initial creations on the part of the generation system.
If nothing else, it would be really good to just get a sample of what is currently being produced, because it gives you it's like running edit and continue. It's far easier to do this when you've got some live data, right? We can make adjustments and limitations and then regen if necessary with, tweaks to the algorithm, so to speak.
Yeah, I'm really wanted to get so that the thing that we have to do as humans, that a human operator has to do, is just a few minor tweaks, and we got something very, very cool. I'm also hoping for surprises, to see pleasant surprises, to see combinations we hadn't considered, and to go fix them. Yeah, and to go make use those then as derivatives for other things. Trying to think what else. I'm also expecting to see unexpected problems where we'll have to come in, fix the engine, and then come back. But you kind of see here, there's a wide variety of artwork available from a small set of files that are being combined in different ways, right? Yep. So that's what we'll start working on tomorrow. I think it'll actually take tomorrow's show plus the next show to get this to a point where we're actually feeling pretty good about the results of it. And I have a feeling also, Rory, that this performance issue with Google Sheets API is going to come back.
I have this kind of nagging feeling it's going to come and bite us somewhere.
Yep. I do too. I think that's going to absolutely happen.
But it's okay. It won't take us entirely by surprise because we've seen it now.
Yeah, it won't take us by surprise. It's just I have a feeling it's going to take some serious mental capacity to get in there and fix it. I did want to show you something that's cool that's happening. I'm not sure if you were here for this, Roy, or not. Let me see if I can get let's see, where do I want to be here? I'm opening up an Explorer window. Here. So if we're here, these are the assets that are used here. And we look at Potions Diamond. Here we are. So these are the assets that we're using to create this card. A couple different colored pieces here. But notice the caret and then the X1, Y1, V1, and Z1.
Yes.
Remember that? These are basically saying, hey, if you move these X or Y, or if you stretch vertically or horizontally, we want to keep those in sync with group 1. And all of these have the same group number on them. Right? So what that means then is I can now come in here and I can say, let's move these, right? And it acts as if it's 1, but I can also come in here and say, let's grab one of these pieces and let's change just one of its colors, right? I can hue shift one of these pieces, but not the other. And that's what's kind of super cool about this, right? It's
that's pretty nice, yeah.
Yeah. And
I remember you showed me that with the lantern and the light cast by it.
Yes, yeah. It's exactly like that. And so that's kind of what's going on there. All right, let's do this. Let's end the show. We actually made it. Rory made it all the way to the end. Good job, Rory. Woo! We did it. We'll go out and rate somebody out there. I'm a big fan of Obother. I'm going to send you over to Obother. That guy lives a life I'd want to live if I had nothing else that I had to do. Just tinkering with hardware all day. John Calloway's out there. Hey, John Calloway. Was it something I said? Yeah. Sorry, we're gonna send you over to Oh Bother. Have fun, everybody. Welcome. Cody Gorilla is trying to trigger Party 3. You can't trigger Party 3. I don't have one for that. You only get it by me hitting this button. Oh no, I'm raiding you right now before it gets too bad. Bye, everybody. Have a good day. See you tomorrow.